Hey y'all, thanks for joining me today. Today we're just going to do a really quick little overview of how much this garden has grown in the last week. It's only been a week since I've been in here and since I've done any kind of filming. We've had so much rain, we've gone out and done some camping and then we've come back. So today we're just going to kind of have a look. We're going to do a little walk around and we're going to see what's all exploded in growth and what's all changed and what's all happening in this garden. All right, stay tuned. So we're just going to start right over here along the fence, this first bed. We still don't have the blueberries in. We're hoping to put some blueberries in at the front over here on all of these. 2 on that one, I think. 1 over here, 1 over here, and then we're going to do blueberries along the fence over here as well, all the way to the fire pit area. But in the meantime, it's looking okay. It's looking okay for now. So yeah, look at how much growth there is. Just crazy. So we're going to start here. These are the onions that I planted. I've already harvested a few of the onion greens for my Sommerborscht. I think I'm going to do some more now that they've got so much more green on them. I think I will just take a little bit more. I don't think I have quite enough for the amount of Sommerborscht that I like to make, so I'm definitely going to be taking a little more of this. I did end up planting out my tomatoes a couple weeks ago now. I think it's been about 2 weeks. So they're there. And we will be doing some tomato maintenance. Looks like we've got a couple of armpit plants right here. So that has to go. So we will be doing some maintenance on those guys very, very soon. It's not necessary right now. It's not like absolutely dire need right now. So I'm going to leave that alone, being as busy as I have been this week. I have harvested all of the radish that was here. There's a little bit of carrots. These are still from the trial earlier. I figured if they're going to grow, then they're going to grow and whatever. I've got the space, so why not? And then there's some beets. There's the red beets and only 2 of the yellow beets and only a few of the red beets actually ended up growing from this one here, which is kind of interesting. I wonder if it's just the situation, like where this is, because the morning sun comes up there, right? And there's this shed that shades it, right, for so long. Maybe that's what it is, because nothing that I planted in the back there really grew all that much. I think I had a few peas, but I ended up pulling them because I've got enough peas elsewhere. And so I've got another little bit of onion here. The lettuce has just like, wow, this is a lot of lettuce. I was actually because we had it so warm recently, I was actually kind of expecting the lettuce to bolt, but it hasn't, which is kind of interesting for me. But I did end up putting the frost fabric over for the really hot days. So what I ended up doing is I ended up just kind of tucking it up in there and then just draping it over the lettuce and then just kind of pinning it underneath some of those weighted things at the bottom so that it wouldn't be in the full sun on the super hot days. So I think that might have done it, at least kept it from bolting, because it does keep, as much as it helps keep everything extra warm in the early spring and late fall, it also keeps things cool in the dead of summer when everything is so stinking hot. So looks like so far it has been working. We had up to like plus 38 was the highest reading that I got last week, which has been absolutely crazy. So we have had a couple of harvests already from this, and all I do is I just kind of take a few leaves, but these are getting so big now I'm going to actually take like a full head at a time and just like start pulling them out one at a time, because I don't think they'll be lasting that much longer in here anyway. So I think we'd be good to just kind of harvest a full head and then just use that. So I will be doing that before we go camping again this weekend. I'll probably take like 2 heads out of here, soak them in really cold water so they don't get limp right away, and we should be good for lettuce for the weekend. Some more radishes. This is the third sowing of radishes. I'm really loving the radishes this year. I'm wondering if I'm kind of pushing it though, because it is getting quite warm out. I don't know. We'll see. I did plant those about 3 weeks ago, just before it really got really warm. So we'll see if those go straight to seed or not. If they don't, then yay. I'm really hoping that they don't. So I'll keep putting the fabric over. Today it's not too bad. Today is like plus what, 24, 22, something like that. So it's definitely not as hot as it has been. But you can see the tomatoes there. I do plant things very close together. I will be harvesting these heads of lettuce first, just to give the tomatoes space as they grow. There's another tomato back in here, and then along the back here. So we've got all of those tomatoes there. I've got some beans growing here, here, and here. And the plan is to just kind of let them grow over and then down. It may or may not be an issue. These are supposed to be bush beans. So far, they're kind of reacting a little bit like... Sorry, there you go. They're reacting a little bit like pole beans, but they're supposed to be a bush variety. So I'm not sure what's going on there. I don't usually grow beans though, so we'll see. The cucumbers have come up. I'm not sure if it was too late for cucumbers or not, but I decided, oh look, there's a new one. I decided to just kind of throw some seeds in and see. I might have some cucumbers this year after all. I am running into a little bit of an issue with the sunflowers down there. They are growing, as you can see, but not as well, and I will be pulling all of that grass out, not as well as the one over there that we're going to be looking at in a bit, right next to those peas. First, here's my hot sauce factory, and just wanted you to see this. It is the first week in June, and see if we'll focus on this guy right here. I have a little bitty jalapeno. I'm pretty sure these were jalapenos. I have a little bitty jalapeno pepper. I've got so many flowers on these guys right now. Let's see if I can get it to... There you go. There's flowers on each and every single one of these. So I'm really hoping for a bountiful pepper harvest. Nope, they're cayenne peppers. Oh, that looks like a jalapeno though. Huh, well, maybe cayenne peppers start off looking like jalapenos. Trying to look to see if I have another one. So far, there's just the one that I've been able to see. These guys are just... Whoops. My goodness. I can't find my usual stand for my camera right now. So I'm kind of just holding it with my hands, and it's kind of a little bit difficult. I packed it up for camping. And now that we're back, I'm like, where did I pack it? I can't remember where I had it. So these onions are doing absolutely wonderfully. Look at how thick that is already. Like, that's pretty cool. So yeah, they're doing very well. The tomatoes, these are the little scrawny ones that I wasn't sure what was happening with them. Their growth habit is so different from all the other ones. There's this one, and there's two more that I'll be showing you. I have no idea what's going on with those, but who knows? Maybe there was a mix-up with some of the seeds or something. I don't mind it. A little surprise. Why not? Here's some more cucumbers. None of them grew over there, so today I'm going to plant some more over there, just so I can have one over there and one over here. Then the beets. They tend to do this, which is why I harvested the beet leaves earlier, just so that I could get some in the freezer for the Sommerborscht. But if we look down in here, if we can focus, there we go. You can see that they are starting to bulb up, which is amazing. Super happy about that. And I've got my creeping thyme right there. The plan is to have enough of it and to disperse enough of it throughout the raised beds so I can have creeping thyme in all of the raised beds. It's just really good for like a pest deterrent, I was told. So we're going to find out. Here's another one of those tomatoes. See how it's so different? The growth habit for these are more of a bush tomato. They've got all of these little, I mean, they are coming out of the armpits and stuff, but they're like a dwarf bush tomato. Their growth habit is so different. They look healthy, and they never really looked sickly or anything, but they just grow differently. So they have to have like a different, some sort of a different seed or something. And this is the chaos sown area where it's just a little bit of everything everywhere, which is totally fine right now. My radishes, which I'll be picking today, and some more beets and a little bit more lettuce. So this is just kind of a little bit of everything everywhere. Kind of an interesting little thought, but yeah. All right, so moving on from this, I've got my nasturtium here from Netta. Those are the seeds. This one's not doing so well. This one over here is doing so much better. So that's really, really cool. Very happy about that. I will be replanting a bunch of stuff in there. Just need to decide what. Because, yeah, so there's all of that. Just the chaos garden. We've got some little bit of lettuce, little bit of beets, some carrots, a little bit of this, a little bit of that. Then we've got the potatoes in the buckets right now. Look at how nice they're growing. This one's got 3. This one apparently sprouted 3 plants. That's crazy. But I do have to mound them. As you can see, they're growing quite tall, so I do have to fill them up now. So what I'll be doing is I'll be filling them up to here, right to the top of the buckets now. And we'll give them that space. So the last bed here, we'll start in the back here with the sunflowers and stuff, and a rock that looks something like an egg sometimes. So they're not really looking that great or that healthy or anything, right? And some of them look like weeds. I'm pretty sure that's a weed, to be honest with you. But like I'm not really seeing a whole heck of a lot of growth there. However, this one up in the bed, look how gorgeous that is. Look how big those leaves are. It's just growing, and it's also got some stems. This one is supposed to grow to about 5 feet tall, and it's in a bed that's about, what would that be, like 2 feet off the ground, I think. So it's gonna be like 7 feet tall, which will be kind of fun. I think that'd be a really cool thing to see. A really neat little sunflower there. Here's the peas. I did put some straw in here because it wasn't mulched enough. We were leaving for about 4 days, and it wasn't going to look like it was going to rain too much, and I really didn't want the garden to suffer while we were gone. So I ended up throwing more mulch down, which you can tell it definitely worked. Like, while we were gone, it did not rain, and then after we got back, it rained and rained and rained. So there you go. So that is the broccoli. There's some through the right over there too. One of them is purple and one of them is green. I'm guessing we will find out when they start appearing. I've never grown them before, so I really don't know. This one also, I am starting to see a little bit of pest damage though. Nothing too much, so I'm not going to be too panicked about it. And then there's some more over there. So I've got these 4 spots that are growing this, and I've got some more in the other one there. I'll show you. This is empty here. I've got nothing growing right in here at the moment. Waiting for a time to be able to get to the greenhouse, and then I'll find stuff for that. I'm sure of it. My zucchini, oh my goodness. When I left for the camping trip, the zucchini was, I think that was the biggest leaf that we had for zucchini. And then we came back 4 days later, and I came back to this, and I went, what the heck? I mean, I knew they were going to get big, but holy smokes. I ended up planting some radish underneath the zucchini so that they could have some shade from the zucchini. So hopefully I'll get one last flush of radish before the summer gets too hot. So this is one of them, and that's the other one. They're two different varieties. That's why one looks so much bigger than the other one. You can tell the leaves are a little bit different also. This is the smaller one, and then that's the bigger one. Look at how big that one is. And then this is the smaller one. So you can tell one of them is a black variety and one of them is the green variety. I don't know which one is which. I forgot which one I planted where. So we're just going to have a fun little surprise when we start seeing them. You can see a couple of flowers starting to come out there on this one. That one over there is actually further along than this one. So I wonder if that's like also an earlier variety, maybe. Not sure. Or maybe I just put more compost over there or more stuff over there to make it grow faster. I don't know. Here's our peas. Oh, we've got a little spider that's, I don't think the camera's going to pick up the web. It's glistening right there. But the peas are doing quite well. You can tell they're like all the way up there, and there's some really nice little flowers. How nice is that? So we're going to get peas soon. I did some more radishes in there. So right in the shade of the peas all the way along, I did radish seeds here as well as underneath the zucchinis. Again, it's a trial. I want to see if we can extend the time of year that we can spend growing the radishes. And so we'll see how successful that is. These peppers here are the baby bells. So this one, there's one there, and there's one more back there. I see so many little flowers in here. I don't know if you can see them. Let's see if I can get a clear shot of some of them. That looks like that might be clear. There's so many of them coming on. That little guy is a little bit of a straggler, but that's okay. This one might not be fruitful, but that's okay. I did just transplant them, so I'm not really expecting too much right away from them. The carrots are doing really well. Now, when I planted these carrots, there's also a grass in there. When I planted these carrots, I was worried about them. I'm just pulling out some grass that's growing in there. But I was a little bit worried about these guys because they took forever to sprout. Now they're pretty close together, so I will have to thin them out a little bit. But they're looking really, really nice. Really healthy. Really, really nice. And then there's the rest of the broccoli. So they're coming on pretty nicely. They're getting to be a pretty good size there. So that's good. Everything is pretty much doubled or if not tripled in size. I'm just going to try and sneak in between this table here. Ryan was mowing the lawn, so I think he just kind of threw the table off the lawn. So there's the last of the few radishes, but you can tell I've got a little friend, or maybe not so friend, in the garden that's been nibbling on some of the radishes. So we'll have to see about that. There's poppies. So I've got poppies there, more beets over there, and then more potatoes in buckets. So again, I'm going to be filling those up today so they can grow on for the rest of the season. Aunt Molly's ground cherries, they're coming along. I've got a couple of little fruits here and there. Not expecting too much. This is my first year growing Aunt Molly's. So there's quite a few little mini fruits on there. So I'm excited. There's another one right down in the shade right there. I don't know if the camera will pick that one up. Down there. But I am excited to try them, that's for sure. So that'll be really nice. Here's some more peppers and the flowers. It's so promising in the garden today, this year. Some more pea flowers. Should be getting quite a lot of peas. So when they start to grow with the trellis like this, I just kind of weave them in and out as they continue to grow. So I'll just try to like bring them through. I don't know if it's too late for that one. It might be too late. Oh, yeah. But I'll just kind of do that. I'll try and not let it wait too long. See, I just broke it. But these are also edible. You can have these in salads also. But I'm not that hungry right now. To be honest with you, I had the best potato dish last night, and I had the rest of it. Oh dear. I had the rest of it today for lunch. It's the best potatoes I've had in such a long time. I love my wall of peas. I think next year I might just do it this way. I just measured it and I saw that these stakes were just the right size to go this way. And it also created some shade on that side for me to do another radish harvest or another bunch of radishes. So hopefully those will do well. Look at how huge these are. This is the other zucchini, so now I'm on the other side of this bed. That was the smaller zucchini. This is the bigger one. Look at how big those leaves are. Massive. Huge. Absolutely huge. And then here's I think this one's the purple one. You see how right on the edge of the leaves, it's a little bit of a different color. I have a feeling that's the purple one, but I am seeing a lot of pest damage on this, so I have to see what I can do to fix that. I haven't seen any pests yet. I haven't seen any worms. I haven't seen anything that would tell me what exactly it is. Thinking like a cabbage moth or something, but that's the broccoli. Did I say it was cabbage? I meant broccoli. And then there's this little guy over here too. Not sure if it'll give me much, but it also has like that purplish hue, and I wonder if those are the purple ones. But I don't think my strawberries are doing very well. I bought a package from Home Depot. There's like 8. And out of the 8, I think there was 8 or maybe 10. And out of the whole package, 1 is growing. So that's interesting. But yeah, so there's the potatoes. I got to move that one out of the shade. I don't think he likes it in the shade that much. He's a little bit dwarfed, so I think I'll move him a little bit over. I'll just move him a little bit into the sun right there. It'll be fine. So, yeah. Now we're going to move over. Ryan does such a great job on the lawn, eh? We'll move over to here. This is the little pathway, so that's why the lawn is weird here. But potatoes, some more potatoes. So in total, I've got 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 buckets of potatoes. And then I decided, since I've got all these extra buckets, try some sweet peas. So I've tried to plant a variety of sweet pea plants all throughout these buckets. Some of them, well, only one survived in this one. That's just weird. I might just have to plant some more. Just because. Just one in this whole bucket, eh? Yeah, so there you go. Oh, maybe something's eating them, because I see something has munched on this one. Interesting. Anyway, so I've got those guys. Some of them are doing better than others, so we'll have to look into why all of that. But that's doing okay. Not too bad. Not too bad. The grass. This is my doing, and I'll fix this. But the daffodils, that's the last of the daffodils right there. But they did quite well, actually. I'm very, very happy with how they did. And I'll do some more weeding, and I'll show you guys. I'll do an actual tour of it. I'm just letting you see a little bit of it. So there's that. Just a shameless, hey, my garden isn't perfect, so, I don't expect anybody else's to be either. So yeah, there's a lot growing in here, but also a lot that I don't want growing in here, also growing in here. So I'll be working on this the next couple of days and getting this all looking really, really nice. And everything that is growing, you can see more poppies here. I cannot wait to see these and those, and there's some poppies all over here. They're from Holland. Cannot wait to see them blooming. Here's a plant. It's a daisy. Is this the African daisy? I can't remember which one this one was, but it's starting to bloom. It's got a lot of little buds on it, so I am stoked about that. I am so happy about that. Another poppy right here. And then more bulbs that are growing there. There's a bunch of bulbs growing back in there. My chives are blooming. I'm so excited about that. I should harvest those and the flowers and dry them. But yeah, so this is coming along. We will see how that turns out over time. There's some of that grass is not actually grass. It's actually lilies, but the leaves just look so much like grass, so it looks like a bunch of grass. I promise it's not just grass there. That, however, is just grass there. This will look a lot better, especially after I go to a greenhouse. Oh, I have plans for this spot. This spot will look so much nicer as soon as I can get into here and all that. The girls still don't have their shelves away. They've moved out. They just haven't moved their plants, so I'm kind of waiting for that. Once they've got that, then I know that nobody will need to be able to walk in this space here. Then I'll be able to come in and do what I want to do in here. In the meantime, it's just maintenance. Try to keep that grass under control. And this fence is also coming out pretty soon here. So yeah, that's the plan for that. We'll do one quick tour of the herb garden. I want to see how that's doing, and then I gotta get my butt to work. All right, so this is the herb garden here with my rooster in there. This is the one that last year I planted. Oh gosh, what did I all plant in here last year? I planted peppers and tomatoes, and then I planted all kinds of herbs. This year I decided to just try seeds, and trying really hard to be very patient. This is the last garden that I planted seeds in, by the way, so it's not as far along as the other one. However, you can see progress. So this is basil. I planted basil kind of all the way along here and along there. I planted celery, not celery, good Lord. Oh man, now I can't remember what it's called. Cilantro, duh. I planted cilantro in the center and parsley up at the top there and some other parsleys over in there. So this will be full of herbs if they all sprout. I can see, this is the thing that stumps me right here. There's a bunch of plants right there. And then there's like nothing growing there except for maybe a weed or two. And then another plant there. So, not sure what that is. I don't want to do anything about it until I know what it is. And so it's also happened over, let's see if I can find it with the camera. It's like right over there. Also. And then like there's just little tufts, right? There's some there. So I'm not sure if like the wind blew them or if it was like planted, like seeds that I planted, and then now, you know, something's happened and they've all kind of pooled in one area. I'm not sure. So I'm just letting them grow for now and see what happens. There's my thyme from last year. I've already harvested some. You can tell the ones that I didn't get to cut are blooming, but there's still a lot of time to be harvested. So I will be coming back through and doing a second and possibly a third harvest of this thyme. So, oh, that smells so good. There's the rhubarb still alive. Looks like it's growing from the middle, so that's good. I'm happy about that. The garlic is doing well. The little ones are staying little, So it's just the variety. So that one there, and then the one behind here, the one that's like really small behind there, those are a different variety than this. This one is a hard neck, and those two are the soft neck. So those two are from the grocery store, whereas this was actually seed garlic that I bought for this area. So it was another trial. So we'll see how that turns out. And then in these two pots here, I've got these two pots here. They're both in the shade right now, but they get lots of sun. Oh, there was a bee. I grew some tomatoes in the same spot, in the same pots, but different potting soil, last year, and they grew really, really tall, taller than the fence. These ones are my Black Pearl tomatoes. I've got one here. And then if we follow along, I see another one right here. So these ones have been getting more of my attention than anything because I am so curious. There's some flowers there. I'm just super stoked about that. So excited to try these. I decided to put these in pots only because if they don't get enough sun, so if the Black Pearl, if they're not as black as they should be, there's some more flowers coming out. If they're not as black as they should be, sometimes I was told that it might be because they need more sun. So then we can just move them over and give them more sun. But for now, I don't mind them being here at all. I didn't get this armpit plant right here. I call them armpit plants. I didn't get that off. So I've got 2 leaders on this one. So I've got 1 and 2 on this one. I'll show it to you like this. I've got 1 and 2 leaders on this one. And I think that might be why it's shorter, because it's had to put its energy into 2 leaders rather than just 1. Whereas this one over here, if you'll see, I've got it just on 1 leader, so just 1 main stem all the way up. So it's got the flowers on the main stem, and that's why I leave it on the main stem. Any plants that start to grow out the armpits, is what I call them, I pull off so that it can give more energy to the ones that are on here. However, I might just change that. However, for this one right now, that's what it is. That's what it's looking like. And then I've got the 1 main leader coming up this way. There's nothing for fruit on the bottom half of this for some reason. Same thing with this one. There's been, pardon me, nothing for fruit on the bottom half of this one either. But I am starting to see flowers on the ends of both of these, and so that's good. I'm ecstatic about that. So, yeah, we'll see how those grow.